Oh, look at us.
Oh, cute.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel with myself, Isabella. Today I'm joined by an amazing friend of mine, Alex.
Hello.
We're actually here in Melbourne. I'm travelling for teaching, mostly in New Zealand, but I thought I've got to go to Melbourne and see Alex. Like, we live on other sides of the world now and it's very rare we get an opportunity to see each other. So it's so nice, and I thought we've got to get Alex on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex, before we begin.
Okay.
About your background.
Okay, so I was also a professional ballet dancer. I stepped away from the industry 2 years ago now, but I trained in Stuttgart in Germany, so at John Cranko, before going off to dance with Bordeaux, Stuttgart Ballet itself, and English National. Now I do social media, so I do content creation. I'm mostly in the fashion and beauty space.
Very cool.
But yeah, and I also study business as well, so
yeah,
a little bit of
super cool.
everything.
So Alex knows obviously everything about ballet. She's been a very professional ballerina. So I thought today we'd talk about, should we wear point shoes in class? Because this is quite a controversial subject, because obviously my background, as you guys know, is Vaganova and the Russian companies, and the Russian companies literally do not wear point shoes in class. Like, you'll never see anyone at Mariinsky wearing point shoes in class. Like, I'm sure you will follow Maria Horova and people like Olga Smirnova and stuff like this, and you know, they just don't. Like, it's, I guess it's sort of seen that when you're in your ballet class, which is the first thing of the morning, you've got a whole day of rehearsals on point and a show in the evening. They think, why on earth would I want to wear point shoes first thing? Like, I'm going to be wearing them all day. This is for warming up, this is for training. But obviously there are pros and cons to this, and it's almost expected, isn't it? Like, every European company or American company, you have to wear point shoes in class. So tell us your experience, Alex, because obviously you've worked a lot with European companies and also...
Yes, I'll tell you a little bit. So when I first got my first pre-professional sort of apprenticeship, I decided to wear point shoes, but ideally I wasn't really strong enough to be on them consistently enough with all the rehearsals that we had afterwards.
How old were you at this point?
I was 18, but also nursing an injury, and me being me and Alex, little hard worker, that I kind of mastered, which ended up being worse than what it was. So I think just having a little bit of awareness of where you are at with point, because I have naturally quite nice feet, which require a little bit more effort to make sure that you can control your ankles. But as I got older, but still that early 20s, the expectation of wearing point shoes in the class was very important. I had some teachers that would judge you if you weren't wearing them, or they would think there was something wrong with you, which sometimes there wasn't. It was just purely, oh, I just need to have a day just to myself, just a little bit slower and take a step back. I actually preferred to dance in point shoes in class because I found it almost easier.
Yeah. Was that always the case, or did you work up to feeling it easier?
I definitely worked up to that. Isabella was coaching me throughout those years where I became quite solid on my point shoes and very much...
Thanks to me.
Yeah, totally. You got me doing those drills.
You were very solid. Like, I was watching Alex in class, and there was a period of time when she was, you know, very much in the London scene. She was super solid. Like, you could throw anything at you and you would just handle it. You know, it was really nice to watch as well.
Thank you.
Again, it was just not something I was ever used to. And I did go through a period, obviously when you're a freelance dancer, and we've had this chat, like, we've both done the freelance scene when we stepped away from some companies. The drop-in class, or the class you go to when you're training, that's literally all you've got. And so I think it's almost like you have to force yourself to wear the point shoes in class because there's no other training. You don't have a day of rehearsals. You don't have a performance at the end of the day. And if you don't wear your point shoes in class, your point weigh's going to slip, you're going to lose technique.
Exactly.
Because
it does require more effort as well, especially in the jumping.
Of course. And promenades on point. Like, adage, yeah.
Like Grand Plie.
Oh yeah, Grand Plie pirouette. Yikes.
Oh my God, which you made me do a lot.
Of course. I'm not doing it.
You're like, hold it, and I'd be like, oh.
Hold it, Alex. Yeah, you did pretty well.
Yeah.
But it does make you strong. Like, I think you become much more aware of your balance, of your supporting leg, of any rolling that's going on, of where you're weak. You do get strong. But I think, you know, in those foundational years, do you think there should be a sort of limit to what age you start doing that? Like, do you think you need to, for example, do you think you need to put point shoes on for centre only when you have like solid technique?
With my particular teacher, we didn't do much point work at all. So we would do a ballet class, which was 3 hours, and then sometimes go into variation.
3 hours?
Yeah. We
Wow.
were like quite a long time. Like, recalling back, sometimes we'd miss variation and continue with class. But then at the end of the day, we had rehearsals which were on point. And it was almost like, because our technique was so solid and drilled into us during class on flat and everything, when we got to like the performance moments, it was sort of just go for it, you know, like it's all there. So
the fact you were putting point shoes on didn't really hold you back?
No. And I think watching you dance on point, you're very much like that. You're like, I've got this, like, oh.
I think it's because you feel strong in your body, and because you're strong in your body, you can lift out of your shoes, you know, so it's kind of like you don't even have them on, like they're just an extension of your leg. For example, when I took like 8 months off for my back injury, and I came back and I had to very, very quickly get ready for my graduation exam at Vaganova. Hadn't done ballet class very much at all, but just worked a lot on strength of my core and my back and my body. So I felt very physically strong. Obviously, when I first put my point shoes on after like 8 months, it was a bit like, oh geez. But within a week already, I felt really, really strong. I was doing like triple fouettes, like, and obviously in the Vaganova and in the company, we never wear point shoes. And it's just like, do you think it adds any major benefit? Like, do you think it should be mandatory, or do you think it should be more of a choice?
I think it should be a choice. Definitely agree with the Vaganova training, because we also did that at Stuttgart.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older and a little bit more, you know in yourself what you need to work on. For me, jumps was quite a big thing in point shoes, and I really struggled with that, getting my heels on the floor, being able to press off and point them and make them look beautiful. That's when I really needed to put the shoes on. So if I was, you know, going into centre, I would need to have the shoes on to be ready to go into those jumps.
You know, looking at the Marinsky though, you can see the not wearing point shoes in class definitely doesn't hold them back.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
And you chalk that down to it's just their fantastic training that they feel like they don't need to? Like, for example, would you think other companies, they feel like people need to get stronger? Or do they just think you're a professional now, you wear point shoes?
Yeah, gosh, you could look at it either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think the Russian training has that solid base that point shoes don't phase them, and they don't need to work on that because they are so well rounded and so grounded and centered in their work. Possibly in other syllabus where it's a little bit more, the work can be quite linear and maybe a little bit quite square in its approach. I would say that Vaganova is very open, and it is a lot of the time being able to put your back, but also have your core engaged at the same time. Whereas in another syllabus, there's no back movement, so it's just it's there.
Yeah, I would say also they probably put more importance on warming up the body for the day in terms of, I've just literally woken up like probably 2 hours ago. I want to feel my body, I want to feel my feet, I want to warm up my muscles slowly. And so they really value the importance of starting on flat. You know, do you think there's any benefit to flat?
I think there is, because on flat, you have to drill up through that supporting leg all the way up. There's no sitting, there's no half mast. Some people manage to get the half mast on the demi-point.
That's when we scream at them.
Yes, exactly. That's where like me and you were like, no.
Yeah. What I notice is people who dance in point shoes full time, basically, they end up not being able to dance on flat. Like,
I would say
not very well.
Yeah.
Do you think that matters because most ballets are on point?
No, because I think now with the contemporary and everything coming through, even if it's modern, there is an expectation, especially in European companies throughout Germany and Switzerland, that you need to have that versatility when you are off your point shoes. Like, it's not all on point. Unfortunately, now you can't just be a ballerina and be the tutu ready person. You actually have to have a little bit more grounding work in you to be able to make it. So
obviously we've gone back and forth, pros and cons, but I would say, like, if you have weakness, really force yourself to put them on. Practice wearing the point shoes, especially if you're a freelance dancer, you've got to wear them. Otherwise your technique is going to go out the window. You're not doing rehearsals, therefore you'll never literally be in point shoes. And it is expected in auditions to wear point shoes in centre. But once you're within a company, I think it should be allowed to have a choice and not be frowned upon whether you put them on or not, you know? Because it is almost seen like a weakness.
Yes, I would agree. It's definitely seen as a weakness. That is quite unsettling for the dancer, because they think, oh my gosh, now my ballet masters or my ballet mistresses think I'm weak, or there's something
or not trying.
Yeah, or not trying. When you get into a company as well, it's very much self-driven, unless you are someone that is at that rank where you have your personal coach. You know, try and block out the blinkers of what's happening around you and just focus on yourself. If you need to have the day where it's just technique, grow on that foundation.
Yeah, and feel your legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Like, I know Olga Smirnova has obviously moved from Bolshoi, which is all on flat, to Het National, which is all on point. But I think obviously she has the status of principal, so she has the power to decide what she wants. But obviously I know everybody around her will be in point shoes in centre, but I believe she's probably still sticking to her roots and not actually putting the point shoes on. But I'm not sure 100% on that fact, but I'd be interested to find out whether she's succumbed to the ways of Europe or whether she's stuck to actually wearing flats.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys.
That was so fun.
Let us know in the comments below your experience with point shoes, whether you wear flats all the time and just do point specific exercises and variations, like you stick to the rehearsals for your point work, or whether you make it a point to wear point shoes in centre and in class because you feel it's useful. Maybe you're so used to wearing point shoes now. I just love to know. I'm super interested because I was definitely not somebody to want to wear point shoes within class, but I know it's very expected now of a lot of companies. So let us know. Thank you, Alex, for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Follow Alex on her social media.
It is at Ballerina Bites. So Ballerina Bites, as in BITES, and just Alexandra McMaster on YouTube.
Lovely. We'll pop your YouTube in the description and follow her. She creates really nice vlogs as well as beautiful recipes on there as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of cooking. I love cooking. So.
Yeah, hence the Ballerina Bites.
Yes.
Lovely.
Love that.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.
See you.